I wanted to welcome you all to Lawyers Title. I wanted to dig deep into some title questions that you might be curious about because it's one of the most important parts of selling your home. It's the closing. I wanted to dig in with the head of sales, Christy Broussard, and she's here to talk to us about it. What role should a title company play after closing?
You know, that's a great question too. I don't know necessarily that they have an active role in communicating in any way with the client outside of the fact that they have insured that property and they've given that client the confidence. How do they connect and work still with the realtor? I think there's a lot of things that they can help the realtor do. For instance, making sure that, the right time of the year is for taxes. Are they filing their homestead? So communicating those things and reminding the agent, really just being a second support of that agent's business. They need to be communicating with their client possibly. In the big picture, there are a lot of things that the title company has to really invest in the agent's business, which if that's happening, then hopefully that agent can take those things and it's carrying forward and investing in their clients. So I think it's definitely a win-win.
So Christy, if you could give every client a choice about choosing a title company, what would your advice be?
That's a great question too, Jessica, because I would say this, that, it's more about just the closing day, right? Find a title company that's willing to invest in your business and your clients throughout the entire process. It's not, the closing day is just one day. And there are so many pieces and facets to that contract and the relationship that you have. So I definitely think it's making sure that you truly are looking at that title company as an extension of your team, and it's a partner in this with you, right? I think that's probably the most important thing.
Occasionally, you'll have someone push back on the other side, and you think that every company is built the same, which when you have those hiccups and you're used to just a smooth transaction, you really have a deeper understanding of how important that connection is and the communication. And so I would love to tell you that every title company is built the same, and it's not true. So making sure you're partnering with the right company is imperative, and it's part of the reason why Lawyers is my choice when I go to the closing table, because of the great teams and the great support that I get.
And can I just say one thing too, Jessica, because you have an incredible closing team around you and you have an incredible marketing team around you, or sales team, I should say. Megan Tierney is your sales executive and she's phenomenal in supporting your business. And then that holds true on the escrow side as well, the closing team. So I think, the sales team and the escrow team working together also is very important. And I don't think you can have one without the other. I think they go hand in hand. And part of that is working with agents like yourself, right? That are very, one, they're professional. One, they always come from a place of curiosity and communication. And I think that then ensures that everybody involved has just a seamless and just an exceptional experience.
And that's what I have when I close here at Lawyers. So I do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. But I do have a couple more questions.
Okay.
So when you're looking at exceptional customer service, it's everything you've already talked about, right? Anticipating needs. Communication.
Yeah.
What else could we think?
I think obviously anticipating needs. That can only happen though and it goes back, I know we've talked about this a lot this morning, but communication, that really has to happen. It has to have a very strong communication between you, the closer, and your sales executive. I think that's incredibly important. I think education, working with a team that has the experience, the number of years in the industry, very important. It truly is, because you see all types of things that could derail or cause problems in the transaction. And so sometimes, just going through that gives us that opportunity to always know the next time to get ahead of it. I think, the other thing, hospitality, again, any time that you're interacting with a client that is going through, again, one of the most emotional and exciting times of their life and the largest financial decision they're making, the hospitality that we give and the understanding that we show is critical. And we should 100% be leading with a servant's heart in that. And trying to walk in their shoes, so it's not
Agreed.
always the easiest thing. And but it ultimately, if it's the right partnership and you're with the right people and there's the communication there, then hopefully the end result will be one that will just be successful.
Well, definitely leaving people feeling better at the end always is a win.
That's
So,
exciting. Fun times.
what is one thing every buyer should know before they close?
Well, currently, wire fraud is a pretty big hot topic. And so I think always verifying wire instructions, that's critical. I think it's also important that the agent communicates with their client that this is what you will receive from the title company, making sure that they understand the communication chain that will be coming from the title company. Never, ever, ever trust last minute changes in emails. Never. Call the title company, and to identify anyone that is using or calling you by phone, call that title company and identify, is that person really there? Make sure, just do your checks and balances on that, and just slow down. I was watching something on the news this morning, and they were talking about helping someone who might be having trouble in the ocean. And they said, most people just want to rush, but take a breath, 10 seconds, calm down, let someone know that you're going out there to help them, and then take something floatable with you. And I thought, my gosh, that's kind of like the title too, right? So especially when you're talking about funds, slow down for a minute, take 10 seconds, verify, double check, connect with the people that you trust. Don't just assume that what you're being told is what you need to be hearing.
I know I'm telling all of my clients to triangulate the results.
Yes.
Make sure what you have hasn't changed. Why has it changed?
Yes.
Call and just
You're
verify
absolutely right.
verify the information. But to me, we
if
even
something
had
doesn't feel right, hang up and call and verify.
I had a closing at Lawyers a couple years ago. A gentleman called and talked to my client and said, sorry to let you know that the wiring instructions had changed. And he had already previously talked to the escrow officer, so he knew that wasn't in fact him. And I think it's crazy because it is so rampant, and people never think it's going to happen to them. And so just being careful, this is your hard-earned money.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Take 10 seconds, take 10 minutes and make sure, right?
Yes.
So,
well, and one of the things that Lawyers Title provides is an ecosystem called In Here. And In Here, it has several different platforms. One of the platforms is Track. So it allows the client and the agent to stay on track where the process is in the closing of the transaction. The other thing that it provides is we have something that's new, and it is protection for anything that might be put on that title. So we can get them signed up. And so once they close with us, from that point moving forward, they will be enrolled in a system and a platform that if anything is ever put on their title that should not be put on their title, or just anything that is put on their title, they're notified of that. So, working with a title company that's very proactive, that understands what's happening out there in the marketplace, often not positive things, are putting things into place to protect the client. And so we have that incredible ecosystem called In Here. There's a property or home management platform within that system as well. So we're very, very forward thinking in how we're approaching things that we're seeing out in the market. And our first and foremost line of defense is communication,
right,
and then to create things that will protect us as best we can.
Right. And I think it's the agent's job to want to make sure that their clients are protected.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That partnership is so important.
Absolutely.
So, Christy, finish this sentence. A great title company doesn't just close transactions.
Okay. I would say a great title company doesn't just close transactions. What they do is they protect the client's dreams. They definitely get ahead of any problems that might derail or become a crisis, so that they alleviate as much stress as possible. And I think they really look at their realtor as their true partner. And in the long term, in the long run, are going to continue to invest in that agent so that agent's business can grow. and then we all grow together. So it's not just about the closing day.
It's about the whole transaction.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time and going through all of these questions, because I think that there's so many misconceptions, and hopefully this gives some
Clarity, maybe peace of mind.
absolutely clarity and peace of mind.
Understanding.
Absolutely, all of those things. And we just really appreciate your time.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for asking. We just adore you, Jessica.
And thank you so much for watching.